Hi, everybody. This is Monica Wisdom, trying to figure out this technology. I am Monica Wisdom of Monica Wisdom Coaching, where we help emerging entrepreneurs build solid business foundation. I am also the host and producer of the Black Women Amplified podcast. And I had to come on here and hop on here today because I just had an interview with the remarkable Jane Allen. If you don't know Jane Allen, she has written a trilogy called Black Girls Must Die Exhausted. There's part one, part two, part three. That's the trilogy. But we had a conversation about her latest book called The Most Wonderful Time, and it comes out October 8th, I believe she said. And I'm telling you, we had the best. I always love talking to her. She's brilliant. She's creative. She's our people. In that conversation, she talked about the importance of this book. There's so many things. It's a rom-com book, but there's lots of layers and lots of interesting topics, including race, um, the dynamics of following your path. If you listen to the last podcast episode, we talked about finding your path. And this book is all about that conversation of finding your path. Because if you're my age, Gen X, we grow up and we're like, is this how life really is? Is this life? And we're all making different decisions. And like we talked about in our conversation, we're the generation that was just forged forward. After the civil rights bills passed, and as integration is starting to open up just a little bit, we were children and then we became teenagers, and then when it was time for us to go out into the world, we were forging the first of any generation of black folks in this country. And so now we're looking back and saying, hey, huh, I still want to explore some parts of life I've never explored. I've never, I'm trying to shed all of these boundaries that I have within myself. And I just want to be me, but I want to discover who that is. Who am I? Like, who am I without all of the accomplishments? Who am I without all of the adventures? Who am I just stripped down, just me, myself, um, and the spirit of the divine? Who is that person? And she talked about, Jane Allen talked about she was going through the same things. And I know a lot of my girlfriends and I have had the same conversation. I go deeper into that on the last podcast episode. So you can, hey Gay, how are you? So you can go to the back to the last podcast episode and listen to it, and then come back here and let me know what you think about the conversation. Because, we're not June Cleaver. we're not we're not old ladies. We're still viable, still sexy, still want to have a great time, and we still have a lot left to give and a lot left to explore in life. And so we had a great time talking about her book and the themes of the book, and it's definitely it's going to be a great book. I was gonna release the episode in October, but I kind of want people to hear it now because it was really good. And the funny thing is, I always talk to the women before, and somehow I got to figure out how to record our before conversations because they're incredible too, and our after conversations. She and I didn't want to get off the phone, and I was her first interview for the book. And she's going on tour, and she was excited because she hadn't had a conversation with anybody who read the book before. And I love the book, and so she was excited that I loved it. She's like, because I love it too. But we had the best conversation. That's the one thing I love about this podcast is I get to speak to incredible women who inspire me to make my life bigger, and the possibilities. But yeah, so check out the interviews coming up. My next interview is with Rochelle Carey. She's a journalist, a global journalist, in fact, international broadcast. No, how do I say it? She's an American broadcaster that specializes in international news. But she has such a remarkable story. She put all that on hold to take on her biggest adventure yet, and that will be coming out next week. So make sure that you subscribe to this channel. If you're on YouTube Music, you can also subscribe over there if you just want the audio. Well, it's all audio, but if you want to listen to it on your phone, download the YouTube Music app and you can listen from there. Or you can listen from here. I don't know. This YouTube thing is new to me, but make sure you subscribe to this channel, set your notifications so you know when I go live. I'm going to be bringing you more conversations about finding your path. I think Black women, it's time for us to have some real conversations. There's a lot going on. There's a lot coming at us. Thank you. Yeah, you can. This is actually Jane's second time on the podcast. And if you scroll through this page, you can find the first time she was on here. And it was such a full circle moment for us because she was my very first interview on the podcast. And now she's going to be episode 100. So 1 to 100. She's written 2 books. I've got this podcast. And she has inspired me to start writing again. She's an incredible writer, and she is a student of her craft of writing. But she's also a Renaissance woman, as we all are. Many of us wear different hats, and many of us wear different things. We might only talk about one thing, but we have a lot going on. Black women are many things. I always say that we are diamonds, and we have many facets. And it's time to start exploring more of those facets. We don't want to kick up out of here and have any regrets. And so I know I've been going through a self-discovery journey. I've been through it a couple of times, but this one is a new one, and I love it. And I also have you can click through the links on the page, but there's a self-love journal that actually is a guided journal that takes you through a self-discovery process. It's a series of questions, and then by the end of it, you've unlocked some things about yourself. You've gone through all the things, and by the end of the book, it's about creating a new dream for yourself. So it guides you gently through a series of questions. There's also a beautiful coloring book within the pages. It's an affirmation coloring book. So if you need to take a break to think, you can put on some music and pull out your colored pencils or your crayons. I have new crayons. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Crayola has come out with World of Colors. So it's got all of our complexions on it. So now you can, it's hard to see with this light on, but it goes all the way to brown skin girls. This is the darkest shade. I'm not quite, I always see myself as this complexion, but I'm not. But anyway, so now I can do the coloring book because it's beautiful pictures. I wish I had the I should have, I'll come back on and I'll talk about the journal. But, and it's beautiful. It's powerful and beautiful, and you can tear the pages out and put them on your wall. It's a beautiful picture of beautiful curvy women and butterflies, and then there are affirmations that you can also color in. And affirmations, I think, are very, very important as we are discovering more about ourselves. We also have to shift our mindset, and affirmations is a powerful tool to shift your mindset, because if you don't know, your brain can recalibrate itself. But just like working your muscles in your body, you have to work the muscles of your brain. But anyway, I just want to come on here and say that I have a meeting in a few minutes, but I might come back after. I don't know. I just want to come and say hi and tell everybody to plug in. Also, if you haven't listened to the conversation with Rhonda Ross, please listen to it. She was phenomenal. Phenomenal woman. This is the daughter of Diana Ross and Berry Gordy, but she is her own person, and she is spectacular. She's also a thought leader and a coach, and she gave some really, really great tips on understanding our mindset and how when we shift our thoughts, we can shift our life. So that's a great conversation as well. Anyway, I'm going to go so I can get something to drink before I move into this next phase of what I need to do tonight. Have an amazing day, and don't forget to subscribe. Set your notifications so that you know when I go live. Have an amazing day. Bye, Gabe. It was good to see you. I'll be back.